The APC Presidential Campaign Council has launched a crowd-fund Bless Me, that's how they tag it, aimed at mobilizing resources for the campaign of its presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima. The party said the unveiling, which held at the Civic Center in Lagos, will afford Nigerians the opportunity to mobilize financial resources to make the lifelong dream of Tinubu a reality. Are we going to see a repeat of the fundraising in honor of candidate Muhammadu Buhari ahead of 2015? A big question, and only time will tell. Still on politics, and on the other side of the divide, the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has promised to provide adequate funds for Nigeria's education sector, praying that citizens will never witness a repeat of APC government beyond 2023, which he says brought untold hardship on Nigerians. Atiku stated this during his party's presidential campaign rally held in Akure on the state on Wednesday. He lamented the state of education in the country, which he blamed the ruling APC, and vowed that Nigerians will never witness a repeat of what happened in the last 7 years if he is voted into office in 2023.
Thank you very much. PDP! I beg, make I hear your voice now. PDP!
Power!
Power to the people!
PDP!
PDP!
Power!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ondo people. We have started our campaign rally from Ondo State in the southwest. It is deliberate because we want to show you that we appreciated what you have done to us in the last election. You have given us the highest votes in the southwest.
Yes,
we will never forget you. That is why, if you repeat the support again, we promise we will definitely deal with insecurity. We will eliminate it. We will also make sure that all the federal roads linking Ondo State with other parts of the country are made very motorable. Of course, I have also undertaken to make sure that our young men and women, you are the one who are gathered here today. You are the one who are suffering in the sun today. And you are the one who are going to vote for us and protect the votes for us. We promise you we will set aside enough money to make sure that we empower you for your jobs, for your security, and for your families. That is why in our policy documents, we said we are going to set aside $10 billion to make sure that we provide small and medium enterprises for young men and women to create jobs and to empower themselves. Is our #1 priority. We must empower our young men and women so that they can have brighter future for themselves and their families. Our people of Ondo State, we have also promised that we shall, by the grace of God, we provide enough funding for education so that our universities can continue with their work. Not what the APC are doing today. Today, more than 8 months, our universities have closed. And simply because they don't care about their education, they don't care about their future. We promise it will not be the same again. You can compare.
It will not be the same again. That was Atiku Abubakar in Akure. Now to today's conversation. Recall that a court of appeal in Yola had on November 24 upheld the election of Senator Emmanuel Boacha and Aisha Binani as gubernatorial candidates of APC in Taraba and Adamawa states, respectively. It's on that basis that we will be joined by Senator Bocha to discuss his chances ahead of the elections, especially as the authenticity of his candidacy can still be contested at the Supreme Court. Welcome to the program, distinguished Senator.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, maybe to say a word or two on our tidbit. Will Tinubu get what Buhari got in 2015 through the crowdfunding, as you have seen?
Well, from all indications, you can see there is a massive and spontaneous response to the fundraising in the general public space, and we are trusting God that we'll have something better.
But does he really need support from anybody? People say he has a lot of money.
Well, what the campaign council seeks to do is to see that every Nigerian blesses this project. It does not show lack of financial capacity on the part of Tinubu, who has been a successful businessman. The idea behind this is to ensure that every Nigerian partakes in this, to show commitment, to show zeal for the project at hand.
But don't you think the spontaneous, throwing of money into that purse, maybe it was instigated somewhere, or you believe that truly it is Nigerians that are donating the money so far? Because it's less than 24 hours, we've seen over 20 million.
If you look at the massive crowd across the country, even in Tinubu's campaign, you should know that these same people will naturally respond.
Okay.
The artisans, the bureaucrat, the bourgeois, all category of classes of people, everybody is showing enthusiasm.
What about those that are lamenting? Because in 2015, there was this old woman who donated her savings to Buhari. Somebody trekked from Lagos to this thing, apart from the money, all over. Yeah, some sold their lands, their family, to support Buhari. But we've reported severally, many of them going to press to lament that they didn't get value for the investment they did, or the sacrifice, let me put it that way.
You can't expect things to still be the same. Whatever or whichever way you look at it, people have different perceptions about different individuals.
Yeah.
This could have a different result. Only God knows. But the people's enthusiasm you cannot cut. People keep hoping against hope. And that is man, that is our nature.
Exactly.
So this hope maybe may yield something different.
Okay.
And it's like that. You can't change that perception.
Okay, what about Atiku's? Is it outburst or actually conviction when he said he praised that Nigerians will never see APC beyond 2023?
Well, it's a desire of every politician to talk down the opposition, the person contesting against him. But I think what matters here is the issues. What are the issues? People running for this election should be addressing issues. Let us not distract. Let there be no distraction. Let us focus on what we are going to do for the country, and what are your records? What have you done that people have seen? I think the massive followership that Tinubu is commanding is flowing from that which they believe took place in Lagos under his stewardship. This is my understanding.
How genuine is his promise to revamp education? Because he said it's come to us, all the universities are closed.
Well,
Atiku? No, Atiku.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm Senator Bocha, and I'm the governorship candidate for Taraba State. Whatever Atiku says is for himself and the social contract he seeks to build with Nigerians.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you about Tinubu, why the massive followership, because I know that people are looking at what he did in Lagos. And that is why some of us also key into this project and believe that he will replicate same if the opportunity is given him.
Good, thank you very much for your take on the tidbits. Back to Taraba now. It's still a tortuous journey, right?
Okay.
Now, the appeal court gave a kind of reprieve last week, but it's still a long way.
Okay.
Are you ready to go to to the Supreme Court? Because it appears some of those who contested with you are not really willing to give up.
Well, I think they are better placed to answer that question, whether they are going to appeal or not. For me, I have been proved right. I have been vindicated that election took place in Taraba State, and I was validly nominated for the APC as its gubernatorial candidate. And by the grace of God, we will win the election. So we are poised to commence campaigns. We are poised to sell our vision and mission to the people. We are poised to ensure that there is a change in leadership in the state. Change that can put smiles on the faces of the people who are dejected, who are looking, disenchanted, actually, across the length and breadth of the state. So we are poised to change all of this narrative.
One of the contenders, Senator Yusuf,
Yes.
he actually flagged you down that you are not even an APC member of sorts. I'm paraphrasing what he said, meaning that he will definitely go to Supreme Court.
Well, I am not good at running people down. Whatever he said about me is there for the people to decipher. Senator Yusuf met me in the Senate. He met us in the 8th Senate. Actually, he came through the court. Even the second election, he came through the court. Okay. I have been in the National Assembly since 2003.
Yeah, I'm aware of.
So for him to say, I am not on ground, is as laughable as it is bizarre, because people who listen to him understood the direction this comes. Sometimes people may not even know that you're a liar until you say some cheap lies that
gain publicity.
And then people, oh, this is the kind of personality we are dealing with, because he knows that what he said were lies. Number one, he said I came with nobody to the APC.
Yeah.
There are more than 5 members of the State Assembly that accompany me to the APC. Serving members, 2 former speakers, credible politicians in their own right, and 3 other ranking members of the State Assembly. Isu himself knows that this, in fact, the other speaker defeated him in his local government. Let him tell.
You're talking about Mark Hussaini?
No,
okay,
Abel.
Okay, Central, yeah. Okay.
Yes. He let him go and ride with Abel in Sardona local government. Let me see who would be applauded. So it's
but the APC appears not to be one house. You contested with like 8, including
we are 7.
Former minister.
We are 7. Now let me tell you the gross.
Okay.
Particularly my colleague Yusuf, with due respect.
And
to him,
Kente.
And Kente.
Yes.
They keep hammering on this. I came to the APC. Kente came from the SDP. He contested election in the SDP for governorship. He came too. Probably he came earlier than me. That is the difference. Senator Yusuf came to the APC. There are some remarks, I will keep them out of this so that I shouldn't be seen like him.
Okay.
But for him to say that I came new, the president himself, who as it stands by standard practice is the leader of the party, gave me his words. He said there are no newcomers and there are no
yes,
there are no
always
owners.
say this,
of course, so that you can have a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
That's so they can have a sense of belonging. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a political tourist. I have been consistent and steadfast in party politics. Listen to me. Now, why I say this is because my first exit from the PDP is meant to add value to the APC. Because the APC has been dormant in opposition for long in Taraba State.
Exactly.
And the likes of Senator Yusuf have not been able to shift the pendulum in favor of the APC.
But is this the only ground, or because you were not really able to get what you want in PDP after all these years? Since 2003?
To me, the PDP is a disappointment. And I chose not to be associated with disappointment because the people are not happy. We had to come out and let them know that, no, we're not part of this disgrace. That is why I left. in company of those who matter in the PDP. Because the PDP, as it stands today in Taraba, is a shell. You know, it's just, you know, an image of itself. It's a shell. You know, when you empty, you know, the content of an egg, you have a shell, and just a little knock will just, you know.
But what exactly were your grudges with PDP? Because you came to House of Reps in 2003 under PDP, you know. Then you wanted to go
I've been in the State Assembly.
Exactly. And you wanted to go to Senate actually around 2007, but unable. But by 2011,
I went to the Senate.
And since you've been in...
Not that I contested the election of 2007.
I know.
Along with the President Senate to come to the Senate. I won the election. The people, the candidate I was voted for is me until the case was decided in court against me because of the difference resulting from the...
Yeah, you relaxed for like 4 years.
I had my leave.
Yes.
So I had opportunity to also go and read.
Your grudges? Because I want to ask you a question on that.
My
Maybe
grudges,
1 or 2. Yeah, when you left the PDP, leaving the PDP, yeah.
I told you that there is general sense of dissatisfaction among our followers. The people believed in us. When the present governor came, we told the people that he is going to do well. And as an architect, we believe that he was going to add value to development of infrastructure in the state. This has turned out to be a complete opposite of what we expected. And of course, he's not also interested to listen. As far as he's concerned, we are small boys. And we have been in all of this. He met us in the field.
You serve as commissioner, you know, member House of Assembly, rep, and then senator. And
about 60, somebody is calling you a small boy because he's your senior in age. It's only in Africa you have this trash, you know.
Yeah, maybe that should be part of the grudges, maybe. Your relationship with the governor.
My relationship is not a personal, it's not been personalized. It's about the collective interests of the people. What we promised to do to the people, the social contract between us and the people had been broken, had been breached. So that is why some of us had to leave. What do we tell the people when the election, because you have to let the people know I'm not part of this failure.
It will be very difficult for you to convince maybe Nigerians that you are not part of maybe the rot.
It is Taraba.
In Taraba,
you are concerned, listen to me. The person that should be worried whether they are convinced I'm not part of this is the people of Taraba State. It is not the allies that are talking on television in Abuja, no. I'm talking about the rural Tarabans. Who do they think has fared well? I have my own catchment area, the Southern Senatorial District, for example. And by the grace of God, I've been able to achieve my template. The people from the South are happy with my stewardship, you know, and the development indices are there on ground to see.
You have their buy-in before you defected? Because
very well.
When after the primary, you say, if I say Taraba State is not sitting down on the precipice, I will be economical with the truth. But what we will do, if victorious, we will redefine governance and dignity of the civil service.
And restore dignity,
Is this from your heart?
Sure, from my heart.
But how are you going to do it?
First, we have to raise morale of the civil service and make it a serious business. You know, redefine commitment and zeal towards work, which had been lost because of avarice and personal grace and aggrandizement. So we have to ensure we fight all of these evils. You have to live by example if you want people to take you seriously. And you have to, you know, be very honest in whatever you do. This is exactly what we seek to do. We are coming as a team that will have to prove our worth. Otherwise, the first 1 year, what is happening in Taraba State is such that if you don't work hard, the people will stone you. You know, the civil service, the morale is very, very low. The state has degenerated to a low, you know, when the local government system started collapsing, you'll find that you go to a local government secretariat and nobody is there. If it's end of month, everybody comes to collect salary and leave. This is what is happening in the state now. If you go to any ministry, you won't find anybody.
you will take them back. But there is this issue of zoning. This governor is actually from the same senatorial zone with you, right?
Yes.
Now, are you not being selfish? Because this is the voice from other senatorials like the Central and is their own time.
Okay, now let me tell you, let me paint a scenario to you.
Okay.
We have 3 senatorial districts. My zone is the last to have a shot at the governorship.
Okay.
Each of these senatorial districts had a second term service. The North, for example, that started it all, our former leader and governor, Jolly Nyame was governor in 1992 through 93.
Yes.
And because it was aborted, we returned him again in 1999 to serve out 2 terms.
Wow.
And it came to the Central. The Central served out 2 terms.
Lambaba.
Yes. Now the South has served out 2 terms. We are not restricting this seat to any particular senatorial district. We made it open to all. And by the grace of God, we had the understanding of
when you say you, who was there any conference when?
Those of us from the South, we're not saying it's limited to the South. Now across the state, it is spread. Anybody from any zone can run to be governor. Remember when Jolly ran for governor, any other person from the state, from the Central District was running to be governor. Even when he had served out his second term from his zone, the person that would have been governor said that God had not allowed it was Danladi Bedo, who was from Jolly's zone. So, but providence, faith, destiny had not beckoned on him to be. So it went to the central zone.
Is that why?
Listen, you know, you asked a question that needs to be
trashed.
Need to be trashed.
Yeah.
What I mean is, on the principle of equity,
yes,
every zone had its own fair share.
Yes.
Now it is a free-for-all struggle. Every senatorial district is free to run. Now, when I indicate interest to run, among those who are shown interest to run, the 2 other senatorial districts, by preponderance of opinion, key into my project, believing in my stewardship, that which they have seen me do in the South, they desire that I replicate it, you know, in the center.
The center and the north.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it does not give me any exclusive right or any exclusive claim to the position of the contest or the governorship. No. Like any other person from the north and central can contest and win.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've been close to Inyame, and in some areas, even say you are the darling of Suntei, you know, very close to them. Now, with the release of Inyame, you know, he has gone back home, that PDP has been revived. So what are your chances?
Nyame is with us in the APC. Nyame is working for the APC. He is a member, he's a card-carrying member of the APC.
At what level?
He's alive. Huh?
At what level?
What level?
When? Yeah.
Are there levels in joining political parties?
Yeah, because of his pedigree, he has been a PDP person for a very long time.
I said he has a registered membership card of APC. I can't speak like this if I'm not speaking from position of knowledge.
When? Is it after he came out of
yes. After he came out from prison.
Straight to APC?
Well, that you can ask him. I'm telling you that he has a membership card of APC. This he told me.
Okay.
Yes. He asked the secretary of the APC in my presence.
This is really coming. This is new to many people. Yes.
Listen to me.
Okay.
He asked the secretary of the APC in my presence, go and bring me my membership card of the APC. And he had met with the president and has given his commitment to work for the APC. It's no secret in the state. He knows it. He has said it, not me. I'm not saying it by myself. Even before I'm not saying it that I am his darling or whatever. He, as a leader in the state, who was leader of all of us, is at liberty to choose anyone he wants to support. But I'm telling you that he is a member of the APC. Are you following?
Yeah.
So take this to the bank.
Well, I will take it to the bank, but I will give it to the guardsman until actually I hear more to this. Because people believe that he's a staunch member. Yeah, PDP.
It's okay. So can we progress?
Yes. Now you think he will work for you, and together you will deliver Taraba?
I think this appears to be a repetition. I say he's in the APC, and you're asking whether he will work for me.
I want those watching us to actually take note of this, because a distinguished senator. Yeah,
I say he is a member of APC. Do you want to say he is going to do anti-party? Is that what you are trying to insinuate?
Maybe, and maybe there is a...
We don't know him. Nyame has integrity, of a political integrity. We know that he has that one.
But so what actually motivated him to move to APC?
When you see him, you can ask him that.
Because some Nigerians will say probably...
My name is Senator Emmanuel Boacha.
Probably there was an agreement at the Kuja prison that maybe part of this thing is that he should defect to the APC.
That is not within my powers to answer. I know that he is a member of the APC. So when you see him, you can ask him that, because my name is Senator Emmanuel Boacha. I can't speak for him.
Okay, now... Taraba is a non-PDP state.
Yes, before.
Okay, good. Now, the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku, is from the southeast. Northeast, yeah. And he is always proud of Taraba. How are you going to contend with his influence?
Well, if you were a politician, I wouldn't have answered this question from you, but since you are not a politician,
I'm a journalist.
You are a journalist.
Yes, and I'm asking the question that ordinary Nigerians will ask you. Yes.
I want to let you know that I don't do anti-party. I told you for long that I am not a political tourist.
Okay.
And I'm steadfast.
Okay.
And consistent in my commitment to party politics.
Yeah.
If I'm in the APC, it is APC all the way, from top to bottom. APC sack.
That's what will happen in Taraba.
Sure.
Darius, the outgoing governor, is actually vying for the Senate, and he will do all what he can to see that his candidate.
Outside the law?
I don't know, but you know the incumbency factor.
We have a ranking member of the National Assembly who is contesting with him and who has performed.
Yeah.
Are you following?
Yes.
Who has performed, and people believe in him.
So he will trounced the governor?
By the grace of God.
Okay, what will you tell Tarabans?
I will tell Tarabans to be patient with us. We will restore the glory of Taraba State. Taraba of all will be returned to its state of glory by the grace of God. The Taraba of past, we didn't know all the sentiment of tribe, of religion, of whatever. People fly this to maintain their stay in public office, to sustain the momentum of public office pecs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what we are seeking to do is to restore confidence in governance, like I told you, is to redefine, governance, that people will have confidence in public office holders. No lies. You don't speak from both sides of your mouth.
Okay.
Yes.
And in 10 seconds, to the co-contenders in APC who are still dragging, just a message for them.
To them, I want them to know that your home is home. Don't let somebody use you. Because nobody in the state doesn't know that the PDP government at the state is deeply involved in what is happening in the APC. It's common knowledge now.
A big allegation. We will bring you back to discuss this more.
No problem.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Boacha, for coming for the program, and we hope to have you again.
Thank you.
Yes, viewers, we'll go for a quick break now, and when we return, the program continues. Do stay with us.
The Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, welcomes all distinguished invited guests, speakers, panelists, and other participants to a one-day national interreligious conference scheduled to hold in the state. Theme: Harnessing Nigeria's Religious Diversity for Sustainable Peace and National Development. Date: Thursday, 1st December 2022. Venue: Coronation Hall, Government House, Kano. Time: 9 a.m. Co-chairman of the occasion, Sheikh Abdullahi Balalo, National Chairman, Jibwis. His Eminence, Cardinal John Onekan, Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja. Special guest of honor, Alhaji Amina Ado Bayero, Emir of Kano. His Eminence, Dr. Julius O.O. Abe, the Primate, the African Church Nigeria and overseas, Professor Sheikh Ahmed Said Galadanji CON, Murshid, National Mosque Abuja. You are welcome to Kano, the center of commerce. Announcer Sheikh Muhammad bin Uthman and Most Reverend Peter Ogumuyua, PhD, Co-Chairman, Conference Committee.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Yes, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. Still on tidbits, the federal government has approved a new national language policy which makes mother tongue a compulsory medium of instruction for public primary schools across the country. The Minister of Education, Adamu, made the disclosure while briefing reporters on the outcome of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House, Abuja. Also, a former governor of Kaduna State and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ahmed Makarfi, says there is so much frustration in the land. Speaking when he accompanied the Kaduna State PDP governorship candidate Isa Ashuru to a meeting with the Christian Association of Nigeria, the Muslim Ummah, and the Southern Kaduna People's Union, SOKAPU, he urged the opposition to unite and defeat the ruling APC in the 2023 general elections. Makarfi stressed that any party that does not respect the nation's diversities, particularly religious differences, must not be allowed to rule the country or any state. He then urged the electorate not to allow themselves to be deceived under the guise of religion to make a wrong choice. We are now joined by Elias Ogadu. He is the senatorial candidate for Taraba South under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. Welcome to the program.
I'm not under the platform of the People's Democratic
I mean People's
Party.
Redemption Party. Sorry.
Is that right?
Yeah, People's Redemption Party.
Yes,
but
yes.
why not PDP? Because Taraba is PDP.
No. It's on its way out. The PDP is on its way out of its own contradictions.
We just had a senator here,
Yes.
who also all his life in PDP, and that was why I said PDP. You are also speaking the same
You
language.
can be excused.
Yes.
But the truth is that the PDP is a victim of its own contradictions, and it's set to implode. And I think the Taraba people would like to see the back of PDP. Good riddance to rubbish.
Okay, we will come to that, but I want you to comment on the decision by the Federal Executive Council, briefly, to now make a mother tongue compulsory, for instruction in primary school.
That is very, very commendable, step to take, because for a long time, we've battled with the fact that, with identity issues, and we tend to think that English, which was the language of the colonial administration or the language of colonialists, should continue to be the language. But you can see that it has not really caught on. We still gravitate towards our localities, our culture, and our language. So I think that's a right step in the right. And also we should also look at other countries that also have the same thing. They may have what they call a
national
language, but along the line they also ensure that other languages that are of prominence also become prominent, because some of the people, we have brilliant people out there who cannot speak English, who cannot write English, but they can write it in their own mother tongue. And it's also a way to even encourage the seeming extinction of our
indigenous languages.
Yes. Some of the things that we cannot study in English because of the difficulty in English, we could easily do them in our local
but
languages.
It's one thing to have a policy on paper to approve it, and it's another to actually make it practical. Nigeria has hundreds of dialects, right?
Yes.
How are they going to do it? Because if you are to teach maybe in Hausa, for instance, or in Fulfulde or in Igbo, meaning the books you will use, geography, mathematics, English, and you have to convert almost everything to that indigenous language.
Yeah,
sciences, physics, chemistry, and all that.
We need to start from somewhere. We need to start from somewhere. We cannot continue to postpone the evil day, because not everybody in this country speaks English. That's why, in fact, Pidgin is Pidgin is a bridge between properly spoken English and our indigenous, languages. And you could see that within the people understand Pidgin much better.
Yeah.
Because it's something that is readily available, or they can readily move into. But when we insist on proper English, or rather grammatical English, that is why there's a high rate of failure of English in the exams. Yeah. So I think this will be a step in the right direction, because then when we continue to develop it, then along the line it becomes something that that we can use, and it becomes part of our own curriculum.
Fine. I will tie the other tidbit to actually issues in Taraba. Makarpi saying Nigerians should vote against people talking about religion, ethnicity, and all that. And you have this issue in Taraba.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Very correct.
Why?
Well, Taraba is if you ask me, it's a special case, because it's a state that has refused to rise up to the occasion. It has refused to. It is a state, unfortunately, it's a state that has tended to be comfortable and conveniently comfortable in religious and ethnic politics, even despite the fact that it has proven injurious to even not just politics, but even everything across Taraba. We can't seem to have the best of our people, because they must belong to a certain religion. We can't seem to have the best of our people because they must belong to a certain ethnicity. And so at the end of the day, the state atrophies. Taraba state, lags behind, unfortunately. behind some of the states that were just created 10, 15 years after Taraba State.
Why I ask you this is because, you know, Senator Boacha, I'm sure you watched our conversation towards the end when the issue of the former governor, you know, arose. Of course, you know, before he went to prison, there was this insinuation that he was actually in APC or things like that. But it was not clear, meaning that people are actually put their legs in Taraba in so many places just for expediency. Am I correct?
Yeah, and apart from expediency and also for opportunism, because in Taraba is a place where, you know, you either belong to one religion or the other religion. And if you want to get along, you have to be identified. You have to identify yourself with one religion or the other. And that is, as I said, injurious to the politics. A lot of the politicians of Taraba, you know, have found, you know, comfort in that. And this is unfortunate. And then all of them are actually in that sort of thing. Today you find somebody in PDP. Tomorrow you find somebody in APC. Another day you find them.
Where are you before you went to PRP?
I just came in. I'm a neophyte in politics, in active politics, but in following the politics of Taraba, I've been there for quite a long time. I've been following it. In fact, that is what made people like us and many people like us to be abhorrent, to look at the politics of Taraba as very, very, you know, abhorrent for us. Even though we regret some of these things happening in Taraba, we believe that Taraba, as its logo says, is nature's gift to the nation. It's not, you know, it's not rising up to that name.
Why did you choose PRP?
You can see why I chose PRP. It was fortuitous for me. If I had chosen the APC, I would have been, you know, out on a limb. I wouldn't know where I would be, because the APC itself is now at daggers drawn with each other. You can hear what the distinguished senator was talking about some of his colleagues. These are people with whom we belong to the same party, but look at the kind of venom that is coming out of him against them, and they too against him. In fact, the distinguished senator is about the most litigated open,
But he had been consistent in PDP for a very long time, until recently.
You should have asked him why he left PDP to APC.
I asked him. He said, because they fell. He admitted.
But he should take responsibility for the failure. I mean, he has been a member of
which failure?
The failure of the PDP. He had been a member of the PDP right from when he was a member of the State Assembly. He became a commissioner under a PDP government.
But if he had not been performing, do you think he would have come this far? Honestly, I wish the two of you were together, but for obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, but the question,
I don't want us to actually concentrate on you answering all the things that he said. Yeah.
The things he should have asked himself is, why is it that today he's been litigated upon? Because with due respect, the senator, along with others in Taraba, other politicians, created this very monster. What
monster?
The monster of religious politics, sentiments, and tribal politics. And that is why Taraba is where it is now. You could see the two parties, PDP and APC, are at daggers drawn. All of them are fighting themselves. Within the PDP, which is the ruling party, there are some people within the party have taken their gubernatorial candidate to court because they believe he is not...
But how sure are you that religion is really a factor here, considering that, you know, they are just exchanging political parties?
No, but...
Some moving to APC, some going to PDP, some to NNPP, some to SDP, and really, maybe I think it's about personal interest.
It's about personal interest, but using religion and ethnicity as a cover. Because at the end of the day, if the politicians of Taraba would come to a forum like this and be challenged by responsible people, by people who want the progress of Taraba, they'll be found to be empty. Because you cannot pin them down to a program, a project of emancipation or transformation of Taraba. All they want is to go during elections, to go to the churches, to go to the mosques, and begin to talk about we here, we there.
That is it. As you can see, Senator Yusuf is a Muslim, and he too was in a different party now in APC. So it all revolves about what can I get at what time.
That is it. And at the end of the day, the state is where it is now, lagging behind in most of the indices, in education, you know, social services and all that. As I talk to you now, some of the state's civil servants have not been paid have not had their salary for 8 months. Pensioners have not been paid for much more number of months.
What will you do in the event you win? What will you do differently?
What I'll do differently
on the
PRP, I've rolled out my manifesto. First of all, I will concentrate on human capital development, because the idea of going to give people motorcycles, going to do boreholes is not what we want. What we want is to develop the immense human capacities in Taraba
terms of
State.
lawmaking or expending resources to empower the
First of all, in terms of lawmaking, and secondly, in trying to network, because there are quite a lot of things that we could get as Taraba State. Our senators, our representatives are not doing the right things. They are just content to sit down and to warm the bench in the National Assembly and not go out and go to where these things are available. Around the world, that's why I have been around the world. I've been a diplomat. Around the world, there are a lot of aid programs out there that we could, connect with.
Yeah.
We could harness. They're quite. I mean, there's the Department of Foreign International Development of the UK. There is what they call in German
many of them.
And many. There is United Nations. We qualified actually for the conditions that are in Taraba. In southern Taraba especially, we qualified for a lot of development aid. But our senators, our House of Reps people are not content to go there, because either because of they lack the competence, they lack the network, or they lack the courage and confidence to go and get this things. And we now lie fallow because we cannot access this. All we hear from them is, oh, this person is from that religion, don't trust him, don't vote for him.
Okay, what will be the way out? Because you appear to be new blood in politics, not in age, actually.
Yes.
And you can't do it alone.
Yes, of course.
So what will you do differently to bring the politicians?
I'm alone among the politicians or the people seeking political office. I was the one that put out my 7-point agenda. It's there. In fact, I put it right on my campaign posters, and I called for people to challenge me how I could do it. Because first of all, I've worked in places where I've developed the network and capacity and capability to be able to deliver these things. I've worked in the Foreign Service.
Yeah,
I've worked in the as a journalist. I've worked in a major industrial concern in Nigeria LNG. I've done this for about 110 communities.
But some people are saying you've been away from home for a very long time as a diplomat, and then you work in many
Okay, the people
places.
who are there, what have they done? The people who have been in situ, what have they done? They can't even go to any embassy to talk about this aid. Aid is lying fallow in some of these countries, in China, in the Chinese embassy.
So have you started talking to the people at the grassroots?
Of course, that's what I've been to. In fact, I've been there, I've started talking to them, I've called them to challenge me. I've asked the governor who is contesting with me.
Yes,
the Senate.
but that is the question I want to ask you. He has incumbency factor. He has the resources. Maybe you also have resources. But how are you going to confront Darius Ishaku?
But he has a baggage.
What is that baggage?
A baggage of non-performance. A baggage of just incompetence. A baggage of abysmal performance. Look, this is a governor who had 2 years as a minister of Niger Delta. He's now going to spend 8 years as a governor. He has not been able to touch any life in Taraba. I said, as I'm talking to you now, the State Assembly is under lock and key. They have not been able to be paid because he refused to sign the monies that we should be able to pay them. He has not been able to pay salaries. He has not been able to do any meaningful project in southern Taraba and the whole of Taraba. He's trying to sell the properties of Taraba to himself and to his cronies.
But is that enough for you to dislodge him?
No, what I'm saying is that his failure is enough because he is bad news to people of Taraba. He doesn't have any good record. I mean, your record will sell you. It's not about incumbency. We have seen governors who have been defeated. The governor of Oyo State, late Governor Ajimobi, was defeated. The governor of Suswam, he just finished his.
So you will defeat him.
I will defeat him.
But it's
before
like
12 noon. I will defeat him.
I wish we have more time. But your party is actually not one house because Emmanuel Bello of the PDP says your gubernatorial candidate has defected.
No, it's a bloody lie. Sorry to say that, but it's a trick that Emmanuel Bello uses. But the truth about it's not true. It's not true. We have a gubernatorial candidate who is Engineer Wasa. He's waxing stronger. In fact, he just came from a meeting with our stakeholders. I am there. We may not have all.
And you are sure he will remain on the ballot? Because if you don't have strong gubernatorial candidate on the ballot, sorry.
He's a strong gubernatorial candidate. He emerged in a keen contest. We are the only party in the whole of Taraba State whose elective primaries was not subject to any litigation or was subject to any contest. It was free, fair. It was even acknowledged by INEC, acknowledged by security agencies. We are better than this fighting PDP and APC, people who cannot even organize themselves, organize the primaries.
Thank you.
How can they organize a state?
Thank you.
I want to call on the governor of Taraba State to come and sit down here.
We will bring him.
Bring him here.
Many
Don't allow him to remain in hiding. Let him come here and defend his policies.
Thank you very much, Ilyasu Gadu, for your informed perspective on happenings in
Thank you very much.
And we wish you well. We will invite you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Listen to the news on
viewers, I wish the conversation will continue, but the time is not on our side. So therefore, that is a wrap on today's program. Thank you for watching, and do join us again. I'm Hamza Idris.